I don't care what nobody got to say. This movie right here was spiritual, and it was about the children of Israel. The scriptures say, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. While we still run around here mistreating, enslaving, and unaliving one another, we don't forget who we are. This movie started off with us having order, freedom, unity, and knowing how to take care of ourselves. Now, if you seen the last movie, then you know Caesar passed away, and they had to raise up a new leader. Now, I knew this was going biblical when all of a sudden, I seen a white girl running through the jungle. Now, the scriptures say you will know them by their love for one another. Caesar was teaching all the monkeys that we are all one. But it's other apes and monkeys who done got beside themselves and forgot what Caesar taught and that was the law. So they started using the teachings of Caesar to further their own personal agenda. So while the other apes and monkeys was chasing her, they ended up running across other apes and monkeys who was abiding by the law and living righteous. And they done exactly what the colonizers done to our people. First, they banded the strong man. Then they went in and they destroyed their village and took the women and children. Noah gets away. He goes on his personal journey to free his people from captivity. And in doing so, the scales had fallen off his eyes and he could see the world for what it really was. And he run across Raka. Raka told him about Caesar. He said he had heard about Caesar, but he hadn't heard the teachings of Caesar teached correctly. Then Raka pulls out a book. Noah never seen nothing like that before. He asked him Raka what it was. He basically told him this is what knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is being stored. It was a famous quote that I had heard before in my life. You want to hide something from a black man? Put it in a book. Noah had only knew humans to be called echoes. When he run across Raka, Raka told him the echoes were humans. Noah didn't know a lot of history and knowledge on his people, but if you go to Judges chapter 2 verses 10, it'll tell you that the generation didn't teach the next generation, which it causes that generation to do what? Fall short. Commercial break me, please. It is so many pastors and bishops, I'm talking about churches out here, that are misteaching and misleading the people when it comes to the teachings of Yeshua, who we know as Jesus the Christ, and they using it to further their own personal agenda while enslaving the Most High's people. See, when Raka had told him about the real teachings of Caesar, by the time they got caught by the other apes and monkeys who was enslaving apes and monkeys, they ended up running across their family. When he ran across his mama, he started talking to her. She talking back. They conversing. They having a whole little conversation. And she realized that a light bulb had went off in her son's head. And she said, "You're not the same." That's what's going on in the church now. I'm talking about the building. I ain't talking about the real body, who is us. Y'all seeing a lot of people turn away because they starting to wake up and realize the truth. And the truth is that you are not teaching it correctly. The scripture says, do not get weary while doing good. While Noah looking at all of his people enslaved and looking at the conditions of his people, and it feels like there is no hope and there is no way out, he started to realize and remember what Raka told him about the true teachings of Caesar. And then he pulled out this necklace that he had got from Raka. And then he got his composure back right and he gained his strength. What does the scripture say? He who started a good work will complete it until the day of Christ. At that point, he realized he was going to follow through with the mission and he was going to free his people. Noah ended up joining forces with the colonizer, coming to find out later on that she was not trustworthy. She was only trying to further her own personal agenda to get information back into the hands of her people, to put her people back in control and back in power. While all of this is going on, I realize not only is his name Noah, they also are surrounded by water. Not only are they surrounded by a bunch of water, it's a bunch of corruption going on. So it would only make sense for the water to wipe out everything like a flood. And guess what happened? A flood hit. And guess who it wiped out? The tares. What do you mean? It said, let the wheat and the tare grow up together. And then in due time, it said that the Most High will separate the wheat from the tare. It said because they look exactly alike. The ones who was corrupted, oh, they didn't survive. And then the message of the whole movie came. And the message was, climb. It's a lot of confusion and corruption going on in this world. And if you don't know who you are, then you need to get into your word. Because your word going to tell you who you are and who you belong to. Like Raka told Noah, which is going to awaken that spirit in you so you will realize your place in this earth. Now, of course, the monkey who was trying to enslave all the other monkeys ended up surviving the flood. While he jumping on Noah and clearly about to unalive him, is eagles soaring in the sky. In the beginning of this movie, Noah's father trained eagles. He said he used to sing to him. When Noah had met Raka, he explained that they used to train the eagles and his father used to sing to him. And Raka asked to sing the song. Noah said he didn't know how to. In a moment of where he felt defeated, he did the very thing that he said that he couldn't do. He started singing a song, which to me was like a Negro spiritual that was calling on the spirit. Those who trust in the Lord, you must first renew your strength. Then you shall mount up your wings like an eagle. And then the most powerful part of this movie happened. After Noah had got his family out of captivity, that colonizer came where they were. The colonizer came for one reason, and that was to unalive Noah, the leader who was about to teach his people correctly so they can be who they were called to be, which would put them in their rightful place. And he asked her, do you think apes and monkeys can coexist and get along? And she said, I don't know. They want us to get over the past while they're still reaping the benefits of our labor. Everybody in this world know who we are and what we're capable of, but ourselves. We don't stick together. There's no unity. We see the power that we have. We know what we could do, but for some reason we continue to bump heads, mistreat each other, enslave each other, get over one another, manipulate one another. And at this point, this movie shows if we come together, love one another as he loved us, what's going to happen? Now, at one point, the monkey who was in control at the time, he took Noah and he sit down with him, he break bread with him. After he got through breaking bread with him, he said, come, let me show you something. Just like the enemy did Yeshua when he went on that fast. He took him up on a high mountain. He told Noah to look out. He showed him everything. He said, this could be your kingdom. See, the enemy wants us to keep selling ourselves short for the things of the world. See, the love of the money is the root of all evil. That's where a lot of this corruption coming from.